Up next on Ben's Blades, we're going full titanium on the Hinderer Halftrack Bowie. Right then, the Hinderer Halftrack Bowie. This knife was, I'm sure, an exclusive somewhere, probably Knife Joy at one point. Those guys love to do Bowie knives, Bowie collaborations and exclusives, etc. So I'm just going to guess that that's where this came from. I got it used off of eBay, and there's a peculiar story behind it. This knife actually was offered for sale with missing parts. It was missing this standoff plus both of the screws for it. So I really shook the guy down for it. I was like, there is no way you're expecting people to pay anywhere near full price for this thing when it's got parts missing. So I got a fantastically good deal on it that I won't even talk about how much I paid for it or how little I paid for it. That is going to the grave with me. So what I did was I got my hands on a really cheap set of Hinderer Eclipse parts. These are Hinderer parts. These screws, standoffs, and the pivot screw and the lock bar insert, those are copper, and they're for the Hinderer Eclipse. So for those who don't know, if you don't have Hinderer Halftrack parts, you can get Eclipse parts and they will fit perfectly. The standoffs stick out above the titanium on this one just slightly, but they'll work in a pinch. And so this knife has been sitting around for a while, waiting for the next shoe to drop, waiting for me to figure out what to do with it, because I hate Coyote Brown scales on anything, and I really, by the time you have a working finish Hinderer Halftrack with coyote colored G10 and copper parts, well, now you have it, the end result is this like steampunk looking thing. Steampunk Bowie. I crack myself up. Anyway, yeah, steampunk Bowie. Okay, so skiff bearings for this thing, because of course, I can't remember if I put skiff in this thing or not. So if they're already in there, well, this will just kind of go off camera and be used for a different Hinderer. And then we have the Hinderer Halftrack working finish titanium for the scale. And then we have a parts kit that is Hinderer in working finish. So we're going full man-whore working finish titanium on this thing. I actually had to call Hinderer, and I was asking, like, hey, when are you going to get Halftrack parts in? Is it going to be anytime soon? And because I have built up a very good customer service relationship with them, they actually did something very surprising. They were like, yeah, we'll whip you up a set. Just give us a couple days. And it's just like, okay. I didn't expect you to do that, but that's cool. I'll pay for that. So thank you very much, Hinderer. All right. Time to take this thing apart. So, the armorer's tool and a T6 Torx. We'll start with that. Oh, let's do this. Let's grab the spanner bit, put it in the wear a bit driver, and what I tend to do most often, so I don't mar the G10 finish, is I will turn on the spanner side and hold on the G10 side until the screw is backed out. Like that. See that? And then, if you're really trying to be meticulous and careful to keep your knives in good visual condition so that they don't look like they have scratches and mars and stuff all over them, then that's how I would recommend taking this knife apart. Sometimes I don't do it. If it's a knife that's kind of a user that gets used and abused anyway, then I don't care if I scratch up the G10 around the edges a little bit. Doesn't really matter much to me. And I broke my own rule. I usually take these apart with the blade deployed. So, screwing things up already. But this knife is, at this point, is a mess of parts and has little collector value anyway. So, this is a light user. It gets used occasionally. And I'm not particularly concerned about what happens to it. I'm not going to destroy it, but I'm not going to baby this knife either. Put you over here. Take the copper parts off. For most lightweight use applications, where you're not getting just crazy with the knife, copper, in my opinion, is mostly fine. It's not very tough stuff, though. It's easy to damage, particularly the threads on copper if you're not careful. So the very second I could get out of copper, I was doing it. Okay, now I need a Phillips. This one should be fine. To take the pocket clip off so that I can take the lock bar insert off. Or not the lock bar insert, the lock bar stabilizer off. Ooh, put you right over there. Okay, and it does appear that there is skiff in this already, so we don't need this. I'm not going to change the thumbnail, though. It's in the thumbnail as a part that's going to be added, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. It'll buff. Out with you. Oh my god, this thing does not want to come out. Okay. Well, get this toothpick off camera. There we go. So I can just wiggle that thing loose just enough. There we go. Okay. Now let's do the typical cleaning regiment with Slip 2000 725. Just get everything to a baseline cleanliness. I actually don't need you anymore. So, can put you in, I call it the junk pile, but it probably should be called something different than that. It's the spare parts bin that I have. I got this plastic set of, it's like a bit drawer where extra screws, extra scales, extra parts go to, etc. Now, we need to take the lock bar stabilizer off. That's going to pretty much drop free. Okay. Now, before we do anything else, let's put the lock bar stabilizer in, the new one. Put that in there just like so. Drops in without any trouble at all. Screw it in. Oh. Hold your nose just right. Now you can easily strip these things out. Snug is perfectly fine. These are the two Halftrack specific standoffs, thank God. I don't have to use Hinderer Eclipse parts anymore. we've got a succinct knife that doesn't have mismatched parts anymore. I mean, functionally the knife was fine, but I am definitely happy to have parts that are meant for this knife. Okay, let me just make sure that's tight one last time before I put the pocket clip over top of it. This is a Lynch Northwest pocket clip, by the way. It is... Oh, I need a Phillips, you idiot. Did I strip that out? No, it's good to go. Okay. So, this is a Lynch Northwest pocket clip that is a milled pocket clip, meaning instead of being pressed or molded from titanium, it's machined from one solid like bar of titanium, I guess. So the end result is you have a Hinderer, be it a Halftrack, an XM18, whatever, that feels like it's got a pocket clip that is to the same quality as the knife, rather than just being an afterthought. That might not matter to some people, but it matters to me. Okay, now... Aeroshell. We're going to go Aeroshell for the pivot, before I forget. Because there was one knife project I did the other day where I forgot to lubricate the pivot. And so I had to take the knife apart off camera and put grease on the actual pivot. And put a little bit extra on because some of it got taken off by putting it through the lock bar side of the scale. If I were smart, I would have just waited and did that after, but hey, it doesn't matter. Whatever is left over can just be wiped off. Okay. Now, a little bit of... Where's it at? The ALG Go Juice. This is what I use on the spot where bearings go. The less you do, the better, but it, like anything else, is going to drip out whatever is too much, and you can just wipe it down anyway. Some people don't do any lubrication on bearings, and I would caution against that for a wide variety of reasons. Okay. Interestingly, the blade stop pin is part of the blade, and it moves through these internal grooves in the titanium, which is some kind of different way to do it. I find that goofy, but hey, whatever. It works. It might not be quite as tough as locking up on the thumb studs, but it'll work for a knife of this type and this size. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit right on top here, because I always do that. Does it need it? Well, maybe not, but if I caught myself not doing it, my OCD would just devour me. Okay, now put this in there. A little bit of Go Juice right there. Now we got to get the standoffs in. Working finish screws. Well, they're working finish on the outside. On the bottom side that you're not going to see, it's just stonewash. That's kind of funny. Okay. But I mean, the inside of the knife is like that too. Like if you look down these holes for the standoffs, it's kind of the same thing. They're only making it working finish where you're going to see it. That's okay. It's fine. Make sure those are in just enough that they don't fall out and cause issues with reassembly. We will go ahead and tighten those down later. There we go. Here comes the titanium. And already this feels like a much more substantial knife. It's amazing what a full titanium scale will do to how a knife necessarily feels in the hand. It's mostly a weight thing, but it matters. Ooh, that is tight. I almost need to use the spanner bit. In fact, I think I am going to hold on the flathead side and screw down on the titanium side just to get this. Well, I better be careful because it's starting to come apart. I don't want to mar this titanium like right when I put it on, but I guess we'll just try to be careful. The biggest thing is because it's a flathead, any flathead screwdriver you put on it likes to slip if you're not insanely careful about it. Okay. There's that. Now, I'm going to put this away before I drop something in it and it goopifies everything. Okay, look at that. We have a full monochromatic working finish half-track Bowie. $10 billion question. Is it centered? Not quite. Little tighter. See what that does. And we're good to go. Dead center. Look at how beautiful that looks now. That is a complete transformation from titanium copper steampunk. And now it looks like a, I don't know, something a Delta Force operator would use. It's, I'm just kidding. They would use something way bigger than this. But it definitely looks like a tool now, a piece of machinery. It's kind of amazing how it transforms a knife. It feels so substantial in the hand, too. It feels amazing. The ergos on this are surprisingly good. I wish they made more Hinderer half-tracks, but this knife is really fantastic. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead, put some stuff away, and then do LPS for the blade. Just to get a little bit of extra corrosion protection. And then I'm actually going to do this whole side of it. Get in there and all the crevices. Just really quickly. I'm going to try to take some of the excess debris from the shop rag off of it. Looky here. Absolutely fantastic. There it is. Hinderer Halftrack S45VN is now full monochromatic titanium working finish. Excellent stuff. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Ben from Ben's Blades telling you, carry a knife everywhere you legally can. I'll catch you later.